Namaste, to whomever this may help. Just some random thoughts on doing things. Being a bit less vague than that, doing creative things, starting new projects, new avenues. A little bit about the journey that I've been going through with the YouTube channel. So started it up again just a few months ago. I started to make a few little vlogs here, travel vlogs. Didn't actually plan to. I planned to just make a little update for the book, but then because I got a bunch of views, I got a little bit, hit with validation, and then just happened to have a few incidental adventures while I had camera in tow. The one getting lost in the wilderness, and the going to look for honey hunters and the big bees. And so a few of my videos ended up getting 5,000 views, and it was very cool, and if a little distracting because I am out here to write my book. But then it got the brain buzzing, and I can get my channel, if I keep going at this rate, I'll get my channel monetized in this many months, and I can make a video every week that gets this many watch hours, and before I know it, I'll be making money, or at least able to have a big audience, and maybe sell my book and connect my bookstore to the channel. All these things that happen sometimes. And then came the inevitable dip, which is part of the lesson that I've had to relearn with this. It's funny because you can learn these lessons in one medium. I learned it with the book. I've learned it with other hobbies, stand-up comedy. You can start off just guns blazing out of the gates and just be like, yeah, this is the best. And then often, it's the trajectory is which way should we do it? You go up, and then there's this dip. That's terrible, but you come shooting out the gates, and you're like, yeah, and then there's this dip, and you've got to before you go back up, there's this period of just maybe the progress slows down, and for me it was sort of on two levels, because I spent way too long editing this video about the bees. I wanted to make it really good, especially the intro. There's 2-minute long intro to keep the viewers watching over that first minute, that then keeps them watching long term, and all this, looking over all the analytics from the previous videos. I realized that's what you need to keep them over the 30-second mark. And so I spent, oh my goodness, a long time, a couple of weeks, and intensely so for about, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 days, intensely so, to the point that I wasn't even writing at all. And I just burned out with it. Once I published that video, the bee video, I was just like, I don't want to look at I don't want to hear another bee. I don't want to look at my face again for a month. I don't want to look at a video editing program. I was just done. I was burned out. And it was, which was fine, because my priority again is the book. So I was like, I'm straight back onto working on that. Thankfully, I think it would be harder if YouTube was my only goal right now. But anyway, that video then got about 1,500 views, and then completely died. For some reason, YouTube showed it to a bunch of people, it shot up, and then it just went meh. That for some reason, sometimes it happens, the algorithm just kills your video. So some of my other videos that are nowhere near as good, nowhere near as adventurous, nowhere near as well edited, and that 5,000 views, and then this one was doing great, and just boom, killed. I didn't mind, to be honest, because the main goal for that video for me again was keeping the viewers watching over a minute or two with a really good intro, which I'm very proud of that I did. And then I made the video quite long, intentionally 45 minutes long or so, because to get your channel monetized, it's not even about how many views you get, it's about how many watch hours you have. So my goal was get everybody watching, and keep them watching for as much of the video as possible. So even though that video's got 1,500 views, it's got more watch hours than my other videos with 5,000 views. So I kind of did get, accomplish the goal that I set out. It's just a shame that the algorithm killed it for some reason. You can literally just see it, it's hitting people's eyeballs, hitting their feeds, and then just doosh, just completely dead for whatever reason. But anyway, then it's not like that was a great defeat to me or anything. As I said, I was getting the watch hours, and I was like, yes, awesome. I got over 300 watch hours, within a week or something, way more than all the others. But yeah, I'd burned out a little bit. I didn't feel like making more videos, and I've been stationary here. I've been working on the book, so I've just not felt. I've not had any more sort of incidental adventures to just happen to record in daily life. And I've had some other ideas in the back of my head, and I've got a document filled with ideas for potential videos. Ones where I'm just talking a day in the life of what I'm doing here, my routine. I've just made one about the books that I read, just low key ones, you know what I mean? But because I'd done some of these ones that were quite adventurous, again, I never planned to, but just because I'd fell into making these adventurous videos, I was like, just thinking like, if it's not as adventurous as that, if it doesn't have a thumbnail of me with several bees hanging out of my face, people aren't going to enjoy it, if I can't make it as hilarious or as adventurous. And so I was a little bit, for the last couple of weeks, that's been mingled in there as well, of just, meh, there's no point, a friend here was advising me, just go out and vlog, go to restaurants, go and talk to people and vlog it. And I've been a bit back and forth on that. I don't really see myself as that kind of vlogger. Not that I'm looking down on it, but I like to just do stuff that's either a bit more adventurous or, more centered around creativity, things that I'm interested in. The idea of just recording what I'm eating, like, I just don't want to fall into that trap. I just don't find that a fulfilling thing to do. I would be doing it just to chase views, and then that's how it works. That's how it gets you. That's how things get you. You end up going down a path you never intended to, and before you know it, you're grinding away, and you've sort of sold your soul without even realizing, you know what I mean? Say if you do start finding success and you're getting subscribers, you want to do more of that to bring more people in, and it makes you a little bit afraid of doing anything different outside of that lane, because you then might lose subscribers. Easily done in regular jobs and careers, you just follow the money or whatever you get. And it's easily done in YouTube. I've seen it. So many YouTubers just follow that, and news websites do it. They follow the headlines that get all the views. So you end up making outlandish, sensationalized clickbait, etc., etc., etc. And I have to play that game a bit with sensationalized thumbnails or titles, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? You kind of have to play it a little bit, but that I just couldn't. And I wasn't even overthinking this. I wasn't like, I don't like those kind of vlogs. I was just like, meh, I don't have the motivation to do that. I don't have the motivation. And part of me finds it embarrassing to like sit in a restaurant and record myself. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of shit, a whole bunch of reasons why I didn't want to go down that path. I just didn't have the motivation at the end of the day to do that. And so anyway, I've been working on the book. It's all good. But part of me is still like, I do want to grow this channel, even just very slowly. But I was finding it hard to make videos because I was like, they're not going to be good enough, not funny enough, not adventurous enough. And it was this little dip. Once I realized that, I thought, I just remembered it. I was like, this is the dip that happens. So what do you do in that dip? Rather than go away from your hobby, rather than be defeated, just keep making whatever you want. Even, and I did take a little break over New Year and things. And then I just decided I'm just going to make some little mini ones. And I've actually felt really free by it. I made one last week about New Year's resolutions. Nothing crazy at all. It's got like 30 views, like the lowest performing video I've made in the last few months since I started up the channel again. And I actually felt really free by it. I was like, you know what? Doesn't even matter. I'm not disappointing anyone because no one's fucking seeing it. And so I don't know. Today I've just made one about some book recommendations that I read last week that I've thought about in the past, and again was sort of defeated by this, like, that's boring, isn't it? Like, who wants to watch that? Who wants to watch a YouTube video about some nobody recommending some books he read or whatever? Just like a little bit. I wasn't like getting myself down by it. It's just a little bit of a like, why bother? You know what I mean? But I've just decided, no, it doesn't matter. So what? No one's going to watch it. Therefore, be free by that. Like, don't put too much effort into it. That's an important point. Like, I've just recorded it, and I'm just going to do the simplest editing so it doesn't take long, and then I'm going to upload it. And it's just to keep that habit going, just uploading. And sure, going to restaurants and recording myself eating and talking to random people could go in that same category of low effort. The reason my friend was recommending it was because it is low effort and it requires very little editing. That was his main sort of selling point for doing it, and I get that, I do. So he was right about that. It was a a worthwhile thing for me to consider, I guess. But yeah, again, just no motivation. But this is my version of that, really. It's just having a little chat about whatever it is I fancy chatting about, not putting too much effort in, and not expecting any crazy view counts or reactions from it. Do you know what I mean? And the freeing thing was about that resolution video, and what I will feel about this one and the book one, is that I wasn't checking the analytics. I wasn't checking how many views it's got, how many likes it's got, how many comments. Whereas those other ones, because they were doing quite well, I was like, check it. I was obsessed with it. I had to uninstall the app, the YouTube Analytics app. I just had to uninstall it because I was taking up too much of my time. It become like my new most used app. I was like, more than, it replaced everything, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. I've uninstalled all of them now, just by the way, just because it's just improved my free mind wandering time to be working on the book. But yeah, and I'm actually liking the dip. That was why I wanted to start talking about that. I'm liking the low-key nature, low expectations of the dip. I think it is a phrase. I'm sure maybe there's even a book about it called The Dip that I never read it, but yeah, I'm sure it's like a well-known phrase. And I might have even got it all wrong. I might have even just seen that title and a cover and been like, I know exactly what that's about. And it might not even be about that, but this is my version anyway. They are good. I do like them, and if I'll happily get myself into some more adventures. But the point is, I just feel a little bit free from all that, and I could make any style of video now, which is the whole point of having a channel. There's something accidentally bad and unfortunate about having a YouTube channel, or the way that YouTube works, as in it does funnel people into sort of having a niche and then only doing that. It's a shame, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the old internet was a bit more, you have a MySpace page and you just put all your random wacky hobbies and interests on there, and you don't have to specialize. And early YouTube days, obviously, as well, is what I should probably compare it to. Old YouTube days compared to new YouTube days, where, it's just some young kids just uploading whatever they fancied, You didn't have to specialize and chase money. It's a bit of a catch-22, really. Good old capitalism, hey, because it's sort of a dream, like, wow, make videos and make money from that, Like, yeah, it's clearly lots of people want to do that, but where's just making whatever you're interested in? Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to pass that on, because I don't know, I thought, if I'm going through this, maybe one of the 7 people who will watch this will be going through something similar with something that they're doing. And yeah, again, we can start off and we can have this, like, even if whatever you put out there, first of all, doesn't have a massive readership or viewership or get tons of feedback, it's just quite exhilarating sometimes to start a new project, right? And then whether you got good feedback, bad feedback, whatever it is, you can just head into this like, I don't know if I can be bothered with this, like, whereas you might actually, big picture wise, you'd wish you'd carried on through this dip, through this lull. So yeah, I don't know if this can encourage anybody. I feel like I've rambled on. I probably could have said this in half the time, but there we go. Just gonna keep passing on the learnings. Anyway, hope you're well, whoever you are. Enjoy your day and your night and your next day, and then that's it. Just 2 days. Just 2 days of goodness. That's all you get. No, I'm joking. Have a splendiferous life.